Namaste and good morning, everyone. I am Ritika Gupta, Assistant Director at IMPRI, Impact and Policy Research Institute, Prabhav Evam Niti, Anusandhan Sansthan, Nai Delhi. Extend my heartiest welcome to you all to IMPRI Hashtag Web Policy Talk. Today we are here for a special talk on people's participation in environmental conversation. Our speaker for today is Shri Mohan Chandra Parveen. I would now this talk is being organized by Center for Environment, Climate Change, and Sustainable Development at INFRI, along with India Water Portal, as part of the series, The State of Environment #Planet Talks. I would now like to request Dr. Simi Mehta, who is CEO and Editorial Director at INFRI, to introduce our eminent speaker further. Ma'am, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika, and a very good morning to all of you. I hope you are all doing well, safe, and you are in the best of your health. So, we are back with #Planet Talks, the State of the Environment series, and today we have a very eminent speaker, Mr. Mohan Chandra Pargane, and uh, he will be talking on a very important issue or a subject on people's participation in environmental conservation. And this is especially important as India faces the atrocities of climate change. So I would like to take a moment to introduce to you our eminent speaker, Mr. Mohan Chandra Pargai. Mr. Mohan Chandra Pargai is an Indian Forest Service officer of 1990 batch from the Telangana cadre. Currently, he is Additional Principal Chief Conservator of Forests, Hyderabad, and member of IUCN, Commission on Ecosystem Management, Forest and Urban Ecosystem Specialist Group. Mr. Mohan holds a BSc and MSc degree from Kumaon University, Nainital, Uttarakhand, and subsequently, after joining the Forest Services, he has also pursued diplomas from Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, Dehradun, Uttarakhand, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, World WWF India, National Law University, Delhi, on areas of environment and sustainable development, urban environmental management and law, and also holds an LLB degree from Osmania University, among others. Mr. Mohan's past postings include he was the DFO of Kagaz Nagar and DFO of Palocha. He has served as a Joint Secretary of Rain Shadow Areas Development Department of Government of Andhra Pradesh. He has been the Subdivisional Forest Officer of Manuguru, Khammam. He has been the Additional Secretary of Tribal Welfare. He has been a Special Secretary with the Andhra Pradesh Pollution Control Board, with the Municipal Administration and Urban Development, with the Environment and Forests of Telangana, and also with he was the Field Director of Amarabad Tiger Reserve, Achampet. And during these past postings, he has specifically involved himself in departmental activities and programs like the launching of cloud seeding project and biodiesel plantation program in the state of Telangana. And he implemented the World Bank aided Andhra Pradesh Community Forestry Management Project. He implemented the flagship mission, Water Conservation Mission in the state. He established the first forest development agency under the National Afforestation Program of Government of India. He was also associated with other important policy making and administration of, say, JNNURM and Rajiv Awas Yojana and Telangana Ko Harit Haram, the Green Garland of Telangana, the flagship program of the government. And so, as you can see, he has wide interest and specific areas of work, and his areas of specialization include forest and wildlife management with emphasis on participatory management. And perhaps this will come as a part of his lecture today. Also on watershed development, environmental CSRs, urban forests and environmental management, nature-based solutions, etc. So having wide-ranging specialization and his field of work, Mr. Mohan has also contributed a lot of literature in the form of op-ed pieces, and he continues to write for reputed national and international media. So thank you very much, sir, and for joining us this morning. And we have been really waiting eagerly for your lecture today, and it is an honor for us to be hosting you. Sir, I would now invite you to begin your presentation. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Simi Mehta, CEO of IMPRI, and Director Dr. Arjun Kumar, other participants. It's a really a privilege and a matter of, happiness to me that I am with you today to talk about something people's participation in environmental conservation. The subject which usually environment, late is being discussed in many forums at many places at various level, be it local level or international levels, at government level, private level, organization, NGOs, whatnot. Everybody is talking about that thing. And before, I think I'm thankful to Stuart and along with the co-host and other partners for giving that this opportunity, because this gives a better way to interact and share your view with the public also, because nowadays even my topic is also the people participation, because the role of people is very important, like especially like a democratic country like ours. That is one thing. Before I just start, I think you are aware that just few days back, can you just go for next slide, please? So I just want to give my tribute to, that some 21st May 2021, we lost one of the, Karma Yogi and the real Gandhian, and who was the true environmentalist and who are really associated with the field issues and the what you call that the field level problems and field level grassroots level campaigns and associations and lot of movements. And basically because I belong to that hilly part of that thing, and I remember one of his talks when we used to study in the college in DSB Nainital, and he used to, when he was giving his lecture and his part thing as part of that environmental conservation. Then there was because there are 2-3 things he started talking on that thing. So apart from conservation of tree or forest in the hilly region, which were at that time were subjected to felling, especially rainy area of the Garhwal, he was also attack the problem of liquor consumption, which was very rampant at that time. And that liquor consumption and all these things, in fact other day the third poll, Mr. one of the that article was also given, it was given, and I was also mentioned that was also a point to connect the people, especially women are the worst sufferer of the environmental degradation, especially in places like Uttarakhand kind of thing, where the accessibility is a problem. So is the case in the Rajasthan kind of desert, where the water is the problem and all the brunt has to borne by women. So that was the connecting point. Along with that, he also taken up this movement which helps today. And that in fact this is one of the it will come into my talk also. That was the one of the precursor, or which has given, it has helped a lot, not only for the national movement and the later on so many movement on environmental conservation, and people participants started taking clue from that. Anyway, to further paying my tribute, I start that presentation. Next, please. See, the topic is that people participation is very simple thing actually. Nowadays, the everywhere, whether it is any international forum or the national forum, we use that word so casually or so frequently. Casually, what I am saying that I will come. Why I am saying casually? Because see, you utter, it has become a fashion to start the word use. People participation, it has different names. Sometimes say public participation, some say community participation, and latest it is claimed that they say stakeholder participation, stakeholder consultation. So every time, every 1 or 2 years at the national level or international level, this is getting changed, but thing is that the concept is same. So in fact, participation is the core of any development process, especially when we are development oriented. So you cannot have participation in a single-handedly. So there has to be some partnership. So the partnership by whom, with whom? So that is there that so this is a process that what say that individual, either groups or organization, they are consulted, and not only consulted, they are given some opportunity so that they become a partner of the program, and it helps in the various processes, be economic or social or cultural or political. So in that way, it becomes a win-win process for them. So either people or individual, it is a human-centric. sometimes people may not have the control over processes, but later on a real participation it has to be a participatory mode. They also should have a say in that process. So it require increase influence and control. So demand increase. So it helps in the, empowerment. And further, again, to what extent you are sharing power, it depends on various kind of participation. Every time you cannot, say participation they will share the thing. It is not possible. So it depends on the place to place, location, and object to object. Next, please. So being that, if you just say historical parts perspective, not very new thing. If you get our our culture, historic culture, we have the Vedas culture at that time. There itself there is a mention of participation when we have used to have sabha or samitis, we'll say that council kind of thing. The only purpose of that the only thing that you take mutual consultation decision. Any decision you have to take, you have consult 1 person, 2 person, or 3 person. So later on at international level, the recorded what I am saying in the 1960s, there is a mention of citizen participation at the time of Greece and the colonial New England, which they say external part. They didn't say people participation. They say citizen participation. It is external, not only those who are in power. Outside who are in power, they also to be participate. Later on, as you know, that at the international level, there are various UN organizations, different sister of, all developmental organizations, be it the FAO, UNICEF kind of thing. They started making a inevitable, component of any progress. And we have the best example of panchayat, where we say that sarpanch kind of thing. Panch mean 5 people. They used to consult taking for some decision, but later on the common decision was with the Gram Sabha. That was a kind of that thing. And later on, if you say that, as you're saying that at the international level also, we have that Article 15 of UN General Assembly Resolution, that's a 1969. There's a wording, they say the active participation of all elements of society, individually or association. So these are some historical, perspective. So which give that yes, it was slowly they started giving importance. Next, please. So apart from that, simple word, what is the participation? Actually, there are thousands of parts. Definition of a different level, different perspective, different kind, and all these things. Simple way, it is a social process. One of the decisions that were specific groups, because you cannot have all group at a time. That's why a specific group with shared need, living in a defined geographical area, pursue actively identifying their needs, not only identifying, take decision and establish mechanism. So that's why I'll come, what are the stages? So, and somebody said, Agrawal of our Indian author, they say it is the narrowest, this is a simple, a nominal. If you say a very narrow form of participation, just a nominal, I am a member, but I am not active. So this is the narrowest. And if you say broadest, it is a very interactive kind of thing where all stakeholders, even the most disadvantaged, have a voice and influence in decision making. So this is the ultimate purpose of the participation. Next, please. So coming to simple thing, why you are doing thing, what are the purpose, why you are doing this participation? It gives a input for this thing, because people know what are the problem. So here I would like to say approaches. You are aware that there are 2 kind of approaches where they are in the developmental process. Now it is called top down approach and bottoms up approach. Top downs mein nothing is done. So you impose from top at Delhi level, at Hyderabad level, you take some decision. Okay, we'll say for these villages, this many scheme is. So we don't know. Suppose, for example, if I say in Hyderabad, mein, some of the district there are 10 villages, I say yes, all 10 villages are given roads, or all 10 villages are sanctioned 1 bore well each village. I am not aware. It may happen that there are 2 villages, they require only 1 bore. It may happen that there are 2 villages already existing bore, because we have not consulted them. So this is called the top-down approach, which is initially the approach of development. Later on, after this kind of participation, when it became important, they say the bottom-up approach. Another part came. Bottom means you take their feedback, then you start development process. So they become a planning then accordingly. So what happens? The resources will be not wasted, time also will be saved. It will give a kind of benefit to people also. Then so empowering the stakeholder. If you consult, participate, ask them, it empower them. He feels confident. Yes, they have asked to me. क्या उनने मेरा भी मतलब वो लिया हुआ भैया, उन्हें मेरी बात सुनी है करके. That's why increase the acceptability and utilization. Acceptability, whether the what we are proposing, it will be accepted because you have taken their demand, their problem, their issue into consideration. Single then provide additional resources to the field continuously facing resource scarcity. So it gives a information. See, there may be some resources which is untapped. So they know this thing. Outsider will not know. So because of that, when they allow the local wisdom into your plan, they know, sir, how locally it can be done. Otherwise, outsider, what do you do? What are the problems? That's why. So this will help you to, I mean, give all kind of this benefit while in the any program or any project. Next, please. So similarly, further empowerment. ऐसे ना, when the people are listen, they think yes, हाँ भी हम लोग भी हमें लोग सुन रहे हैं. इसका मतलब हमारी बात भी सुन रहे हैं. अपनी नहीं बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. हमारी मेरी problem भी सुन रहे हैं. And this gives a equality kind of thing, especially the Indian society culture thing. There are downtrodden, there are different kind of casteism kind of thing. Society में difference है. Ladies हैं, they are also, I mean, disadvantaged section. If they are also listened, so they feel, oh yes, they feel correct that they are also listening to us. So they feel empowered kind of thing, and it helps the people to unite. Once they all are together, yes, then we all are allowed to sit there. Then you say, yeah, okay, that's good. Let us have now, at least they are asking us, let us have some good thing for this thing instead of that top-down approach. Better understanding, simple thing, and essential. It is a core for essential development. I mean, otherwise, this helps a very, I mean, good result for the any project to be for being successful. Next, please. Can you just have next, please? Yeah. So this is very important now. See, there are stages. See, participation, it cannot come when I mean in one day or one night or 1 month. Like it takes a lot of time. It is really very time-taking process. That's why this is very time-taking process. So in the initial level, earlier this thing, see, first level informing, which was the earlier approach. They used to say, गांव में भाई उन्होंने कहा भाई ठीक है भाई हमारे गांव में आज सड़क आ गई है खत्म. Rest कहाँ आई, कितनी आई, where it is there, how much amount, where to be go, nothing. So this is one-sided. They say, then inform. So this is no starting of participation. Then again they want, suppose they say, yes sir, बताइए आपके गांव में सड़क बनानी है तो कैसे बनाएंगे? So it means you are asking the people, consulting them. So it's the second. Abhi only they are asking whether you will take all their suggestion into view. That is different thing. Third, involving. Then they say involving means yes. Before that, you say, let us sit by, we have to make a road in this village. So let us sit together and plan from where it will go, how it will go, kiske ghar se jayegi, kahan se jayegi. Then involving them. Collaborating. Collaborating means again cross this thing. Then there are different agencies. So they say, yes, let us all come together. भाई तुम्हारा ये है तो उसको बुलाओ, उसका कुछ कहाँ से जा रहा है. So when again you are involving where there between group and group also, people and people also. Suppose there is somebody is objecting, so people will start with them. So not from the suppose I am the planning agency, these are the villager, they are the villager, various villager. So between villager also they will consult. So it becomes a collaborative kind of thing. So when any planning or any decision are like in that, it gives both empowerment of things. It means people think yes, they have taken some decision. So this is their decision. They feel empowered. And since you honor that thing, you do. So now after that decision, when you are taking, say, yes, acha, you have all told that thing, na, so we will go with that plan. They feel very happy. He said, they have discussed with that, all we sat together, we examined all issue. Now we have come to that. So they feel happy and really they become active partner. Isme kya hota then? They think that this work is not the government work, this is their work. They feel owning the program. So this is the last stage of what I am saying, a clear or what you call a typical participation model should lead that kind of thing. Then you will say, if it is in between, then it is not a pure, good participation. Next, please. So this is again same thing. So what you will do, there the fact sheet will be there, citizen, that this is same thing in the detail. Same point, then how they are empowered and people face final decision making in the hand of the public. Finally, so empowerment meant to place final decision making in the hands of people. that becomes a perfect model which is required. And how you are doing, whether you are doing or not, will come to. Next, please. Yes. So what are the essential? So if you want to start any participatory process or that thing, so what are the various things you have to have? So there are so many things actually. So which are, there may be different because it may vary from place to place, project to project, situation to situation, location to location. But even then, there are certain common things which should be essential for any participatory model. So it should meet the expectation. Whatsoever you are wanting, whatsoever people are asking or expecting or desiring, it should meet that thing. Second thing, very important thing, any such kind of model, there should be sufficiency and continuity of man and money. Because why I am saying, because participation man, there is a need of people who can take charge, who will organize, who will coordinate. See, a government servant, single person is not possible nowadays because they have other things also. I will come why this is required, because if there is a no continuity of man and money, so how the program fails, I will just give you example. And it should have a transparent and two-way communication. It should be transparent, should be there. Aapko neither party, neither people, nor agency, or not the government, this side, both side, they should clear cut, I mean, inform that what is what. They should not, I mean, hide anything, both the party. And two-way communication, both they should be allowed to give their opinion, their expression or objection whatsoever. So finally, it should become a win for all, not for the one-sided this thing. And participation should be a mandatory, very much required. Many times what happened, see, and even right now also it happened, women, children, indigenous people and farmers, on paper sometimes they are say that they have been participated, they have been made partner. So in the real field, there are certain region and background also because of literacy and because of our age old, I mean tradition. Still we have the will not allow these people to come into that decision, or any villages may the people who are having money and power, they will come into first and they will grab the situation, they will take a decision on their whatsoever suiting to that. That always chances will be there. So that's why. So it should be mandatory participation. One, not only mandatory, but it should allow their participation on also. Their voice should be heard. Then commitment of stakeholder, whosoever the manager staff are there, they should be committed, and it should have effective representation. All should be allowed. All respect of caste, creed, sex, and all these things, they should be, everybody should be allowed. Next, please. So again, it should be clear. There's a purpose, clarity should be there, opportunity should be provided to all. The staff and participants should be capable enough. वो आदमी को पता ही नहीं है तो क्या करना है, तो this is not the way actually. So he will not able to take out the decision and all these things. Integrity is very much important. Why I am saying all the government system, this is the problem, and I am being from the government side or knowing very well what are this thing. In fact, initially we also, this is the first obstacle from the government official, because to some extent it gives a impression, or yes, to some extent is correct also, it erodes their power. होता क्या है कि if they decide, तो उसे लगता है कि what is my value. So the government officer, and there are certain other angle also, corruption kind of thing, because this will, if everything known by the people, then there will be no much scope for hanky panky and doing wrong thing. So then they are the first thing. That different thing, that's why their brainwashing is equally important. Government official or agency or non-official also, those who are doing that thing. And a belief in the value of public input. We should always say that yes, public input is really valuable. We should not say, "Arey public ko kya pata hai karke." Next, please. A benefit is very simple thing. Then it is increased participation, greater social cohesion, and increased equality and exchange of input. Aata hai. That's okay. This is not this thing, because since we have talked this thing, so it is already coming out of that. Capacity building will be there. People are getting empowered, and collaboration will be there within that thing. Next, please. Now, coming to global event, we just go through that from where it started. I say, coming to that environmental aspect. See, development, it was going on that slowly, because environment also, started getting importance later, not immediately. So what happened? The first time the Nature Conservancy, one NGO was there, 1951, he started raising that issue, conservation and survival all. And Sagan, you know very well that the famous Silent Spring book of Russell Carson, where he has see at that time in the US raise the voice of the DDT misuse and how DDT is at that time. At 1962, in USC raised that voice at that time. So later on, we also, because this is one of the main thing which was, I mean, without this thing, it was used for the raising crops and all these things to insecticide or kind of thing. So 1970, when the first Earth Day was celebrated at that time in the US, where 20 million people participated. So at that time, they also raised issue about the environmental deterioration and need of conserving environment, conserving and protecting environment. So similarly, later on at all international, forum, this issue, public awareness, they say, they started raising public awareness now. Then post 1990, public involvement was made a kind of compulsory thing of all that thing. And coming to Rio Declaration, 1990, what they say, all aspect of involvement, they say this also make this thing. Later on, coming to that Agenda 21 of that thing, then Agenda 21 later say, they identified, yes, participatory approach has to be followed. They recognize that thing. Next, please. I will come to the India specific now. I think the left side of the picture, you must be knowing, this is the very famous picture of that, our Rani of Rajasthan, Amrita Devi. Then right side picture, this is the Chipko movement. These were the, events in India which started, thinking, which made people to start thinking about that environmental conservation. Next, please. So what were those? I will just come to that. So these are called the Amrita Devi of Bishnoi movement at that time, 70-30, when the then Raja came there, they wanted to cut that khejri tree, Prosopis area. So at that time, under the leadership of this lady Amrita Devi, 363 people sacrificed their life to protect their khejri tree. You imagine 1730 at that time. So that followed by the Chipko Garhwal, Alaknanda in 1973, where the Gaura Devi, and they were the, why I am saying, see, they are two women are the leaders. So you can realize why the women were in forefront. Even the Rachel Carson at that time, she raised the issue of environmental conservation. So that's why. So this was followed. This is different side, where a man or woman. Now let us not go by gender wise. All are now equal. What I am saying, because they are worst sufferer. My point is that women in comparison to men are worst sufferer of these environmental challenges or degradation whatsoever. This India, that Apico movement was there, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, that was there. Then similarly, later on, Silent Valley movement was there for the Kerala Sastra Sahitya Parishad. So that was there, followed by Narmada Badao, this again, Mewar Patkar and Baba Amte, they were, these are all centering around the environmental problems of that. Tehri Dam conflict, unfortunately, it could not succeed in this thing, because Tehri Dam was built later on. And of late, that many of that thing, especially judicial activism, where actually we started saying that Bhopal gas disaster after that, and similar later on, MC Mehta's famous lawyer who started taking all environmental cases into judiciary, forum, that thing. They started taking to, and then Supreme Court for their redressal of that thing, saying that environment is the important for all. This is the fundamental, it is the duty of the state to take care of the environment. So next, please. So these all started, exhorted people to think that this is there. Then what are the now challenges? What are the major challenges for? Why the people, I suppose you want that people to participate. So what kind of major challenges we have to face? First and foremost is literacy and awareness. Unless if you are not aware, so you don't know everything. So that is the important thing. That 1 minute. Okay. Coming to that, capacity building of stakeholders, both, whether this side people or that side government servant or agency or implementing this thing. Poverty and lack of access, that is very important. See, equitable allocation of natural resources. That whether it is a land, whether it is the other thing, we have that age-old problem of this, especially developing country. All are not having equitable resources. So that also create problem while doing the participation. Simple example, why a poor will participate, who is not having a 1 acre of land, or well, suppose let us say we are saying, by there is a forest, we will not say that you don't go, please don't cut the forest, don't enter into forest. But Same time, there are 2 or 3 people or villager who are not having any land and only dependent on the fruits of forest thing for their livelihood. So then how you will say, if you say them participate, for them it is a question of livelihood. So it means the ground first, unless you meet their demand, how you ask them to participate? Because for me, I am having land, I don't have any problem because I am well-to-do in that sense. I have some land, I can manage for my, but the poor people who are not having land, what they will do? They have to depend on forest, whether it is good or bad, that's different thing. So similarly, environmental, that's I am saying, environmental conservation is linked with livelihood issue. And similarly, persuasion of livelihood activity result into environmental degradation. This is what we call, because one of the study of World Bank, they say around 70% of the livelihood activity of the poor, they are from these natural resources, especially forest kind of thing. So for them, whether it is a forest land, forest and all these things, they constitute a kind of poor man GDP. So that's why they say, next please. Then same inequitable resource distribution, then complex nature of management of natural resources. See, this is also not a very, simple. Managing forest resources is not a simple process. It has to take care of so many things in that. I will come to that. Similarly, grazing, fire or MFP collection and biotic interference and socio-economic and political issue. These all things also make grazing for a shepherd. Grazing is for his livelihood. So how he, and if he go into forest with his cattle, so this is damaging forest. Then we are saying protect forest. So what to do? Whether you have to protect forest, but for them it is a question of life and death. Similarly, usufruct collection. This is right that they have to collect some MFP, tamarind or some fruits or some kind of other forest species which are required for livelihood. Biotic interference, they also do a lot of for their activity, day-to-day activity. Plus, there are socio-economic issue also. I am not coming to going detail at that thing. And diversion of forest for agriculture or other purpose. That is also for, it is a question of agriculture, a livelihood. How to, unless I have land, so land kahan se aayegi? It has come from forest. So he is diverting that, but that is also for his survival. So these are coming into picture, conflict. So how to address that is different thing. Yes, please. So yes, is people participation relevant, crucial or necessary for conservation? See, that's why I say, as I was saying that now, environment is interlinked with the livelihood and survival of people in non-market good. But I am saying non-market men, especially who are not, marketed usually, as you say, NTFP kind of thing. So then 90% of the total livelihood comes from the forest or related this thing. So it comes, this is the, that's why in that case, it becomes a challenge for them. So for them, participation is not important. For them, livelihood important. So they will say, how can I do? Then poverty, one of the greatest factor for degradation, equitable distribution and social, same thing, it has come this thing. And inequality, harm, growth, poverty, reduction and ecosystem. Finally, it is the inequality, whether it is a poverty or all thing. Finally, it gives a, it affects our sustainability concept. Next, please. Yes. Now I am coming to that point, especially what you call that in our Indian forest, management concept, forest conservation or what you call joint forest management. If you see our Indian forest management, I think I have another 10 minutes will be sufficient, 15 minutes, MCV?
Yes, sir, please continue.
Yeah, okay. Because this is the main core part of that. See, forest in India, we have policies from after, even from 1952 also. At that time, actually, initially the forests were managed for some other purpose, not for the environment was not actually priority. So our 1952 policy, so there is a more emphasis on production policy. They say, yes, you let us produce something like timber or even that for sleeper, for the railways, this thing. And a lot of plantation were started raising. So we used to raise that thing. So at that time, our objective was to get material for trade. So production, you produce more. So that was at that time. At that time, conservation was not the problem. So later on 70s, Chipko movement started that kind of thing, because on the hills when they started felling, they say this felling is causing a lot of landslide. There was a lot of I mean, water sources are getting dried. So the Chipko movement started. From that, that was the epicenter of the actually environmental awareness. So they started, public also started, I mean, realizing, yes, this is not there. Similarly, so then after that, communities all around the India, different parts, they started thinking, hey, this forest, you are doing that thing, but they are, I mean, resources for our, I mean, sustenance or our, I mean, life. They are the life thread, I mean, saving systems. So that's why what happened first time in Midnapur, Aravari of Midnapur district of West Bengal, 1972, 71-72 mein, there was a Sal forest, actually, Surya forest. So people started protecting these forests, and after protection, they say just by protecting, they could get a very good Sal forest, as they think. Public themselves, they say, we'll save our forest, we'll protect our forest. So from there, a movement kind of started. Then the then DFO there, they started taking public into, I mean, confidence. They say, "Bhai, chalo, let us milke saath karte hain, hum bhi bachate hain, jungle ko bachayenge." So when they started protecting, they say the forest is growing very good, very well actually. So that was in that eastern part, and here in northern part, Sukho Majri, actually, you know that Haryana, there are also similar actually. There the issue was different. There they started saying that because water down the line, actually water, I mean, resources were getting dried. There was water scarcity. So what they did there, some of SMC activity like check dams and lot of, I mean, kattas, what you say, lot of the staggered kind of trenches, they started and protecting, they started protecting that area. So what happened after 1 or 2 or 3 years, not only there lot of grass started growing, lot of trees started regenerating. What happened down the line, the water scarcity also was get reduced. They started getting water. Then say, yes, let us public started realizing, this is our thing, let us protect that thing. So similarly, after that, this community involvement, then the central government also started putting that thing. They realized, so National Forest Policy 1988, they say that communities are central to forest protection and management. The policy recognized that importance of community. So later on, 1990, Government of India also issued JFM, what is called Joint Forest Management Guideline at that time. And vis-a-vis similarly, Panchayat Raj Act, PESA or FRA also, they have also recognized role of community. Why this is important, participation, then all these things. At the central level, NAB, what are called National Afforestation and Eco Development Board, they started focusing later. What they say, bhai, now you involve community, whatever the degraded forest, let them protect, let them develop that thing. So that is giving importance to that. What happened? So then they later on 2009, their National Afforestation Program was launched. Actually, they have given guidelines. They say in the name of the Forest Development Agency. It is a group of that thing. What is the Forest Development Agency mean? FDA is a kind of a group of people. They say it is a FDA is a group of some local committees. There are, suppose in one district, suppose FDA Khammam, let us say. So there are 10 villages. So 10 villages mean 10 committees are there. So these 10 committees jointly, they are, I mean, they make a subgroup kind of thing, which is called FDA, a conglomeration of these committees. So now I'm coming to what happened. Meantime, all the states, they started getting externally aided project, whether your World Bank or OECD Japan or DFID UK or OU. Similarly, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Andhra, and West Bengal, they they're getting external funding. So what happened? External funding, why I'm saying funding very word important. So with that, there is a lot of component for community participation. People were there, NGO were involved. They say, yes, let us make committee. Same time, next please. Yes. So if you see in the AP, Andhra Pradesh experience, 1994, as I was saying that degraded forests were started, we also started protecting that thing. Then here the name was changed. They say in the village, some villager are there, so they combine and they will protect that forest, nearby forest, which are other places it will call Forest Protection Committee, rest of the India. But in Telugu, we started saying Vana Sangrakshana Samiti, which is conserving the forest, Vana Sangrakshana Samiti. So important thing was there. What this is, see, any participation, it is not easy there. You cannot ask people to participate. he will say, why should I participate? Today also, suppose we say, why are participation nahi ho raha, public participation. So why the public should participate? Why the people should participate? So because it's, if you are saying it should be a win-win situation. So for me, I am saying because the forest is mine. First thing that now we have to realize that forest is everybody community, I mean commodity. In that case, if for me, I am a custodian of forest or the state government. So if I am getting this forest protected, it means that my job is also getting done. So what the people, those who are protecting, what they are getting? See, this is very important. Incentive. See, unless you give something, why they should protect? Because forest for everybody. So what happened in these projects, there is a provision were made at that time, or even government also to continue that project, they made a provision. Yes, unless you give some incentive. So what are incentive? We say, by if you are protecting this piece of forest, so whatsoever bamboo coming, suppose, let us say some bamboo coming or some non-timber kind of thing, all fruits, I mean dyes, colors, everything on NTFP, non-timber forest produce, जो भी जंगल से आ रहा है, you will get free of cost, so it is yours. So you are getting something. Grasses, it is yours free of cost, you take. Bamboo, you started free of cost. And later on, when Andhra we have started, I mean, there was a craze of eucalyptus at that time. So eucalyptus, actually, you know that Nilgiri it is called, eucalyptus. It is at that time, some 20 years back, 25 years back, the craze of that, everybody was growing eucalyptus. There was controversy also. So there was some, I mean, some variety which used to give very good yield after 6 years. So it means, suppose if you are planting eucalyptus today, after 6 years, you will get yield. So what we said at that time, by you protect that thing, we will plant eucalyptus in your land and forest land. After 6 years, when it will be cut, 50% you will get. Then people say, yes, then we will protect it. So they started getting 50% of the income that, and the rest 50% income, we said you will put again into raising next year plantation, that kind of thing. So this kind of mechanism, when the people also coming. So at that time, the people started. Later on, the another World Bank project came, community forest involvement, they say. So again, we say forest community. We will say, then apart from that, we started taking that, okay, their entry point activity, man, we started, wait, let us see, if you want to enter into village, entry point means it is I mean, introductory activity. Suppose we want to associate, we say, why the people will allow you? तो चलो यार ठीक है, एक इनका बस स्टैंड ना दो, गाँव वाले की जरूरत है, एक कम्युनिटी स्टैंड ना दो. So people will feel happy. They have made one bus stand for us. They have made a community stand for us. So they started, I mean, having confidence over the forest staff. So that was called entry point activity. Later on, they say, there are self-help groups are there, give some money to them, some banking, some loan, some machinery, some other kind of, I mean, income generating activity, some groups, youth groups, ladies. So this kind of activity we started giving. So only to bringing people into confidence, so that they should not go to forest, not, I mean, degrade forest, not damage forest, and same time they will have livelihood option here, so that the forest will be protected. So what happened later on, the Andhra, it was the cancer, around 7,000 such committees were formed at that time. 1.6 million member, I mean, you can imagine, and 1.6 million hectare forest land also same. It was under their control, I mean, protection. Control means they are protecting. So later on, what happened? Next, please. As I said, actually, later on, when this project period was over, so what happened after with that? All kind of this kind of assistance to them, community participation. There was some community facilitator. There was NGO were involved. Then we are giving some, I mean, and then again taking some activity. We wanted money. There was no money, in fact. So once the project, I mean, this thing withdrawn or is completed, sudden there was a, I mean, backlog. Sudden it got a stop kind of thing came. So a kind of just a jerk kind of thing came. Again, what happened? They started. They say, what is the this thing? There's nobody to take care that. I mean, their participation in all these things. Their community meeting kind of thing. NGOs also there. There was no facilitator. It is only a forest department. And again, from the government side also, there was no help in that case, because that is very important. See, virtually, or I mean, say, typical form, the purpose is that you make system like that, they all villager, they have their own kind of thing, livelihood, alternate livelihood system, and a kind of system is made such a way that they should not be dependent on forest. So at the time, till the time the project activity is there, they were being supported from the project, it was doing well, people, they were also doing. Once these slowly they started activity, or I mean financing were withdrawn, again slowly 1 2 3 years they again came back to same situation, again everything had gone back to square, and again they started fighting, I mean doing, depending again on the forest. So that was very important, that's why it was becoming challenging. So now coming to that, why it is now at present again, why it is like that. See, the major challenge, what is that now? Okay, that is one part of forest. Now let us say at present, let us say simple, I am asking that let us participate in environmental protection. I am sitting here, I want that yes, we should protect our environment. Everybody say protect environment, but how? So again question, who will protect the environment? This is a very big question actually. Whether everybody at their level or at their capacity, they are really doing that work or not. That is the real challenge actually. See, that's why I say to meet that challenge, first why it is challenging means it participation seek involvement of both active and passive stakeholder. See, active stakeholder are those villagers who are dependent on. Passive, I am passive. Everybody, you are passive stakeholder because you require good air, you require healthy air, you require good water, you require nice breeze, healthy environment, but you are passive, you are here in the cities, you are not really taking part in the action based participation is not there from your side, but from villager side we say that it should be active. So if you want his participation, he should be given something now, because it is a question of like developed country and developing country. Simple. US, as you are saying now, that we are saying the US in all your developed country to contribute because they are the major polluter. So they should compensate to developing countries which are not polluting to that extent. Our carbon dioxide, our CHG emission is very, very less to and compared to developed country. So that's why that is the important. So this is the main challenge. So how their involvement, both kind of active or passive stakeholder involvement is very important. Second thing why it is challenging, the benefit are mostly intangible. As I am saying ना, they improved air, water, serenity. उसका कोई पैसा नहीं है ना, tangible दिखता नहीं, it never visible. We are enjoying, I am enjoying good air, but it is not visible, so nobody bother. So that's why it is not valued much when compared to tangible benefit. So that's why the rural development में क्या है, suppose similarly forest में conservation आता है, forest part में we say environment conservation. Our other department, there is a rural development department, for example, what they will say, okay, you do this kind, agriculture department will say, bhai, from government side we are giving this much subsidy, you raise this crop, after 6 months he has crop in his hand, tangible. But in forest and all this thing, nothing is tangible. So why is interested? Or further, the benefit from forest or environment in that sense, they are very, they take long time completely. Suppose you plant a tree today, number thing, its benefit are not tangible. So आपको हवा दिखेगी नहीं क्या साफ हो रही कितनी हो रही. Suppose it is a fruit tree, so it also take 10-12 years later on, unlike our agricultural crop. So this is problem in that actually. So immediately this result is not. So that's why people are also, why should I take, मुझे क्या मिलता वाली बात है, simple thing. So when the community is involved, it is challenging to provide equitable distribution of issue fruit, proportionate to contribution. अब एक गांव में community you have said, all community of this community में there are all kind of people. There is a few people are landlord, few people are landless, few people are serving class, few people are not doing anything, few people are residing there or sitting, living in the city. So all are stakeholder for that piece of land in a village. So suppose they are protecting, villagers are protecting a piece of land. Okay, then from that, for example, after 10 years, just for example, they got 1 lakh rupees something tree, or I mean they have some usufruct, they say some forest produce, they got 1 lakh worth. So how to distribute that 1 lakh? So that is a challenge there, whether has to go equally, including the person who is the village member but sitting in the city, who is a landlord, he has not done anything, and who is the landless poor who has done a lot of things. So this is the challenge, to provide equitable distribution of benefit. And it is also challenging to decide equitable distribution of contribution also. That is also how to contribute. I am in the city, so I want to contribute. So it is challenge. Bhai, uska mera contribution kaise loge? I want to contribute there, but how you will say? I say no, I am a school teacher. I cannot contribute some this way. I will contribute in some other way. So it requires sitting. It requires you have to consultation. Another thing, that important thing, hubris attitude, the latest thing actually, which I am just, so this is a attitude. It is a typical, what is called hubris attitude is a typical of developed or Western culture. What is that? When they think that because they have more money, they have advanced technology. So then they think that since I have money, I have technology. I mean, technology means everything. Suppose गर्मी लगी तो AC चला दूंगा, कुछ है तो ये has lot of health access है उसके लिए, improvement के लिए, pollution है तो pollution controlling, I have technology. So he has money plus technology. So he thinks that environment is not going to harm me since I am progressive and I am resourceful. So that a kind of feeling, this is called hubris attitude. So then thinking of people that everything should be done by the government. But I will not do anything. वो कौन बोलेगा? So I will let the government do, especially in the developing country. This is so these are challenges where the participation is not possible actually. These challenges are very, I mean, field level challenges. Next, please. Then many times, what I think, the results are not very attractive. Attractive means that, see, for a villager, if you say, well, you will get a good air, you will get a good, rainfall, so he is not interested. He wants money, and it is not tangible. It is, so that's why he wants something in hand. Bhai, mujhe aana, mujhe kya doge aap? So that because environmental conservation में जो benefit हैं, they are long term, they are not short term. Participation output may, or sometime I say not that sometime participation may, it may be physical contribution or may not be. So that's why somebody is interested in awareing, making people aware, canvassing, campaigning, activism kind of thing. So that is different kind of. Stakeholders are from diverse background. That is important. Then it causes great personal and financial discomfort. See, for example, if you say, from today onward, let us people participation part of thing. Let everybody participate. From today onward, I will reduce my consumption of extra food. I will do only which is minimalistic, which is most required. But since I have money, since I have money, so I can spend anything, whether it is going waste or not. So, but it will give little bit discomfort to me. I want to eat that also. Though I have taken my food, I want to eat pizza now. Mera man kar raha hai. Whether it is required. So it means since you are having money, so now I'm telling one thing. Again, the consumption pattern is very important, though indirectly linked with that. 30% of our environmental, I mean, degradation is because of overconsumption. See, consumption, overconsumption. This is the estimated one. We can at least 20, 25 to 30% our resources we can keep little bit for future generation, but because of that, since we have money, we have this thing, we have overconsumption kind of thing. Simple example, you also might notice lot of the online facility and all these things, how much things we purchase. Many times, many of things they will not be really required actually. If you just compare with the village or a simplistic lifestyle, since now this is a lifestyle kind of thing, we have money, purchasing power. So that, and once we are asked to do environmental conservation, it will cause little bit discomfort. You say that we don't use AC for a long time. I say, why? Yeah, use let us water use judicially. Discomfort hai. Not that thing or anything. See, any or waste may. Simple example. Somebody say, bhai, you start segregating waste. अरे भाई यार, कौन इसको सूखा अलग करना, इसको गीला अलग करना. So it is very discomfort. Why should फेंक दो ऐसी करके? See, that's why this is important. So it causes personal as well as the financial discomfort. So people participation, people will not ready. Why should I be ठीक? अरे छोड़ो यार, तुम बोलने की बात है. Environmental conservation चलते रहेगा. Next thing is there, threatens social status. I come to that social status actually. Why I am saying, for example, you say many of our ambassadors which are related to, I mean, environmental, some developed, I'm not naming, actually. Suppose some good example of, I mean, tree conservation movement or wildlife movement, we have all our brand ambassador, very, very celebrity will be there. And if you say their personal lifestyle, if you ask them, sir, can you really, because they are celebrity, they are elite, they are having some status, can you do something for, I mean, environment? Can you use only one vehicle instead of 4 vehicles? No, you cannot use. Can you, people are having their personal jet and all these things. There was some news also, I mean, long time social media that people are started commenting that celebrity also. How you are talking about environment when you are using that jet, personal jet, which is using 1,000 times more energy and 1,000 times waste. You should have, I mean, fly from the general simple flight. So that's why that is very important. And the number is increasing. There the million number, जो आपके लखपति हैं, India every year some lakh number are getting increased because of that across the country, across the globe. Some I don't have the figure, but there is some good number. Some millions every year. These million are getting number is getting increased. It means they are having more money. So more money means more, I mean, expenditure, more consumption. Again, the burden will come to environment. So this kind of thing, so why they will say, oh, so मेरे पास पैसा यार, why should I do that thing? Let me enjoy. Whom cost? Who will suffer? Those suffering, let them suffer. Those suffering. So lack of that is important. And nowadays, which the latest actually we know, a kind of hashtag activism. You understand? Hashtag activism mean the activism or the concern for the environment, which is only restricted to your social media, like Twitter, like Facebook, like Insta, or any other forum, but only for that purpose. So you are not doing really action, or your action may not be really that proportionate to your thinking, but since it is a kind of a social media savvy kind, so you want to have something, some publicity oriented, publicity among all these things. So it has become only that, but it is not action based actually. So that's why that is also really challenging, that nobody really worried about that thing. So people participation, unless these things are taken into care, we cannot expect the people participation. If we start talking like thing, next please, I will just come to the way forward. Right? Yes. So if these are the problems, see, people participation, I just 5 minutes left. I have just given the example of forest where we have some example, and for some time we could do that thing, but later on we could not pursue because of various factors. There was policy, priority was not there, money was not there, people are also not interested, socio-political reasons were there. So even then, for it is not for the forest aspect, even our day-to-day aspect, we have to think that how we can make such thing that at least the participation may be a small contribution. I will say simple thing, very, very simple thing. There is one, taking or not using polythene bag for our, I mean, market purposes, whether it is a grocery shop or it is the vegetable shop, all these things. Suppose every day or from today onward, let us say 1/4 of our population. Why 1/4? Let us say 1/10 of the Indian population. That becomes 13 crore. Or 50% of that, let us say 6 crore. From tomorrow onward, all they start using only cloth bag or jute bag and not use the plastic. That's just a simple calculation. At least your 16 crore plastic bag will be saved. It means that much of plastic will not come into use and that much of pollution will be saved. A very simple thing. Na? It is not a good, I mean, very, very great thing. We are not asking anybody to sacrifice. We are saying, यार भी तुम्हारे घर में कपड़ा है, कपड़े के बैग हैं, आजकल तो everywhere the cloth bags are there. So why don't you use that bag? So this I am saying. So it is a question of awareness building, thinking, attitude also. Create that thing. I am coming, that's why. So if you really want to make this people participation really working, what are the way forward? What we can do actually? So we should have first thing that, see, since we are developing country. Our majority of your 60 to 70% people, they live in the villages. Villages means most on that, lot of, I mean, almost huge number of that, they are dependent on the your forest or other kind of activity where environmental is getting degraded. So unless our plan, our intervention, they are pro-poor and gender sensitive. Why I am saying, because first time I am very for, I mean favor of that, because unless you make a gender sensitive program, it will not help, especially environmental conservation. Unless you give priority to women, priority to downtrodden, priority to those who are not having any resources, your program will not succeed, because for them it is a question of survival for them. So for them environment is nothing. See, whatsoever they are doing, they have to survive them. You can't say no. So that's the important. Our policy should be pro-poor, it should be gender sensitive. Again, mandatory, your people participant should be mandatory in the plan, plus unless you provide some corresponding budget, otherwise it is just nothing. See, if you don't give money for some activity, it will not run. It requires money, because there are so many things we have to do. Without money, it will not work. As I was saying, attitudinal change of all stakeholders. That is very important. Awareness play a very crucial role for that purpose. Or similarly, capacity building. Suppose your villager, they should be trained, they should be made aware. Officials, they should be trained, they should be given a lot of training every time. And our initiative should be action based, as in the case of not okay to some opinion making or sometimes some movement, or I mean giving some momentum, that thing, social media kind of, I mean this thing, okay, you cannot do without. Nowadays at present is the age of that, which I absolutely cannot say that yes, you don't do that, but you have to say at least a part of that also should be action based. It should be followed by action. That is very important. Next point, please. Yeah, further then any this thing, that the mechanism should be very effective kind of thing, whether it is a discussion, whether it is a planning, whether it is execution, whether it is a monitoring, or it is a evaluation. A mechanism should be in place. It should not be half-hearted kind of thing. आधा बना के छोड़ के इसका भाई ठीक है आप छोड़ दो गांव वाले देख लेंगे. No. You have to pursue till completed. Even that also monitoring, evaluation, that is important. And most important, which are the, I mean last I have put the very important, adequate policy intervention. Why I'm saying there should be policy or rule for that. We say it, unless, because it is, we are all, I mean in the democracy there is a system of that. We always say no, if the policy is there, rules are there. So everybody will, I mean, they will, I mean, following the rules for that purpose, whether any scheme, everything. So we are like that. So there should be adequate. It should be need based. What is required now? Unless that is there, so it should only then it should be in place, so that it will really provide that redressal of that. Suppose this will try to meet the challenges of that sector or that area or that problem. Last but not least, strong political will is very much requirement. See, because we run by that democracy, may this is very important. So unless there is a political will, you will not get that all kind of policy. You will not get the budget, all these things. There will be no priority that. So what you will do? You cannot do all these things. So that is very much required. These all are intervention to, if really you want to do something. Next, please. I think this must be last. I think. Yeah, that's all from my side. See, basically, in nutshell, what you want to say, people participation has become really a kind of what is called that jargon kind of thing. You see any document, they put first, especially now this is the restoration year of restoration. I think 2021-30 UN has also declared that restoration and all these things, which is we are running that. Now this time the theme is also now restoring your system, ecosystem, restoring forest. So first word, you know what is there? That's a stakeholder participation. Very conveniently we put that thing, but in the field or really in the, I mean, when we start executing, this part gets missing somehow. So since it doesn't get priority, it doesn't get any support. So what happens? It becomes a part of paper only. It never enters into the field. It never go into the people. It never being executed in the thing. So what happens? So it becomes another kind of thing, another kind of program. So next year, what happens? Again, you change with this some name, you some other name, it will come. We say the stakeholder, that are important. Without, especially all kind of natural resources, be it forest, be it water, anything, be it sea, whatsoever, natural resources may, when the role of people is very important, and especially for developing country. So unless, especially a country like India, unless we have taken the people into confidence, we have taken their problem into view, you have also taken their opinion as thing, any intervention will not meet its objective. It can, okay, on paper you can say, or we have done that much of work, but real it will not be effective. So that's all from my side actually. If any query and all these things, I'm happy to take on that. Thank you for.
Thank you so much, sir. Very wonderful presentation, and your explanation. It really caught the core from where we need to understand, where we need to figure things out, and that remains people's participation. So wonderfully you have presented, and I really congratulate you on your lecture. And before going to some questions, I would just like to briefly sum up, in the sense that when you started your discussion by paying tribute to Sundar Lal Bahuguna ji, and also pointed out very importantly the important role played by women in the environmental conservation movement, which Sundarlal Bahuguna ji really incorporated specifically in the Chipko movement, which in fact was an idea of his wife, Madam Vimla Bahuguna, and also other eminent women like Gaura Devi, which you also mentioned. Once upon a time, he was very vociferously, because you belong to that area, he had said that we don't want the dam is mountains destruction. But we still have gone forward with several dam construction and on a massive scale. And this actually leads to the understanding of the top-down approach of participation, which you were mentioning in the beginning of your lecture, top-down and bottom-up approach. So here, when we are, when the authorities are not really focused on understanding the people's perception at the ground level, and then they are going ahead with making such massive dams, it actually showcases a lot of disconnect. There is a disconnect between the authorities and the people at the grassroots, and the result has been very obvious. Result has been in the form of massive natural furies, and led to destruction of hydroelectric projects, which we have recently seen in Uttarakhand itself in the first week of February. And ultimately so many different so many lives and are lost, unfortunately. So here, one important idea, or one important issue that comes into being is the restoration of mountain ecology. How are we going to sensitize the people, and not people less, in fact the authorities more, on the significance of conserving the mountains ecology? Since you belong to the hilly areas and you have seen it yourself, how do you see, how should we reduce the ecological footprint? And living with nature is the need of the hour, as you have pointed out throughout your lecture. You must be aware of some traditional wisdom and knowledge, which was reflected in the Chipko movement, for example, in the community-based ownership that you are talking, to ensure that our environment is protected from the grassroots up. So if you could talk a little bit about that, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, actually, you have really, there are two things actually. See, the problem is hills are actually very complex kind of thing. See, there are, see, why it is complex, I will say in one or two or three example like that. First thing is that the productivity of land actually, because of terrain and all these things. So that is the major concern where actually, because of that, with the increasing population, the mostly I will say almost 70 to 80% people in search of livelihood option, they are migrating from that thing. Number one thing, that is very important. So initially, when they used to conserve the area, the less number was there at that time. There the balance was there because their demand were used to met from the available this thing. So there is a good kind of balance. They also not used to, I mean, exploit or use natural resources, I mean, without giving, I mean, regard to sustainable kind of thing. So second thing, what happened? Developmental aspect, I mean, developmental intervention, for example, the extension of road, or you say the other thing, tourism activity, all these things, they also started taking. See, now energy requirement, let us say, why you are saying that you require a lot of energy. What is the reason for that Tehri Dam and all these things? It is only because of the energy requirement, because you cannot do away with that thing. So problem is that, see, doing balance is getting a little bit difficult, though it is not impossible. So there are, so it's a question of priority that it doesn't mean that it can be given. Suppose if the really government want that thing, no, first let us see rehabilitation part and all these things. It also require huge cost involvement. What I could understand why I'm saying. Why I'm saying, because I was in the earlier when working in the pollution control board, we used to see many of that thing. Your EIA is being done, environmental impact assessment. See what happened, there is a provision called for public hearing. Same thing. It actually, as per text or as per rule, it say that you should consult people whether they are really accepting or not. If they are not accepting, what is their demand? In fact, actually that public hearing, it should be 100% or a typical kind of participatory. It means you should understand their problem, the project proponent understand their problem, and they also understand that this is also development, need of the development. So when these two things are there, development is also required, the local problem also required, so there should be some solution. But unfortunately, because of several reasons, so I cannot quote every reason for your record, but you say it is not possible also to attend all win-win situation is not coming. So that's why what is happening now, first thing is that many times the technical thing also are getting compromised, whether you should construct that height or this height, or there also, whether there is some alternate way also, but it may happen that some alternate way it is costing more than that. So government say no, we don't want that much. It may cost 1,000 crore more if really it has to reduce that impact and all these things. So because of that problem, what is happening? We are not able to come to a concrete kind of a consensus decision. It will never come. So that is the reason that in spite of that also, we are not able to do justice for all that thing. So that is one thing. Coming to that, you are saying that community, I mean, resources, community managed resources. I will give a very small example and good example of, see, in Kumaon and all Uttarakhand area, there are water harvesting structure used to be a very, they are called Naula actually, Naula, Naula. So they are that wherever the depression is there, if some source is there, then we have some structure kind of thing. In fact, one of the NGO, they are called Nola Foundation, working in that Kumaon area, they are doing that thing. So 30 years back, what happened? Then our forests were intact. These, I mean, all Nola, they used to be in the depression kind of thing. See, catchment is there, all slope, and when that depression is there, there is a collecting point, just like a water set point of thing. So there the water will come out throughout the year, and this water will be collected. So only thing we have to do, you have to see that the upper side our forests are intact. If the forests are intact, they will absorb what, I mean, they will conserve this thing. The rain will fall on that rain, whatever will throw soil. This all, every time there is a layer of moisture is there, and the forest will absorb that and pass on that to the aquifer. So aquifer always will be there. So it will continuously 24 hours, it will give the water. So that was the natural system, and committee used to be there. They will not disturb that thing. They will, without that thing, collect the water. And every time the upper side, they will not disturb that, or they will not cut tree on the upper side, because once they cut the tree, the water will not come. See, there is no source to, I mean, attracting or, I mean, sponging mechanism will be gone in that sense. So what happened slowly, because of that development activity, now people also started expanding. They started doing, family, I mean, started getting increased. So there they started expanding their agricultural field. In that process, all these catchment forest also started getting, I mean, degraded. So for that, the NOLA started become unfunctional, non-functional actually, or they will give water only at that time, rainy season for 2-3 months. Instead of that, earlier they used to give their annual actually. Always they used to give water. So that is the reason actually. Third thing is that again, what happened? The people also started migrating from there. So their maintenance and all these things also, because these also to be maintained properly, their cleaning has to be done. Sometimes they have to maintain properly. There should not be some blockage and all these things. So these kind of some all reasons, so they get neglected actually. Once they get neglected, so their, I mean, that involvement was not the true. So once they started, what they say that now the community are starting that. They started realizing, yes, we have our resources, why we should depend on the tap water, which is brought by the pipe. So slowly, again, the people are starting realizing, people are using and people are conserving now started. They are doing some planting wherever in the upper catchment area. So where they are realizing, we can always regain that thing. We can always bring back those days. That is not an issue. We can always bring back those days. So that will be really important for that. So that's why I am saying, and coming to these kind of what you are saying, that the problem of that your I mean developmental projects. This is actually a really highly, I mean, we have so many views. There are pro views on that, there are against view that, and there is a literally a very, I mean, discussing. I mean, it is a controversial kind. What I am saying, because I mean, environmental proponent, they say no, I want environment. Agar development one said, oh, what he will say, no, if you want environment, how to do that? You want water, you want electricity, you want development, you want road, and you want employment. So it cannot be done. So that's why they say a balance. So only problem is that we are not able to get exact kind of balance. We should meet both the objective.
Right,
So
right.
a little bit getting there. That is the reason for that.
Yeah. And in this, in trying to ensure this kind of a balance, where do the views of people, where you have mentioned people's participation, figures in? Then I think it becomes more important, or it leads the discussions in that manner. Whether people's views or people's opinion, whether it is pro dam or against the dam or whatever development activities. So I think then the whole ball gets rolling. Otherwise, it is only the top-down approach which you have
Actually, you rightly
mentioned.
said. That's why I say now we should give a platform, actually a platform to listen. And but again, thing na, only listening will not. That's why why it is not. I mean, why the people participation mode is not going to consensus, because there is a, I mean, conflict again. It is not reaching the last stage, because suppose pro environment people, they will say no, I don't want. So again, it has, I mean, log jam kind of thing. It will not reach to conclusion. Consensus will not be there. But only thing is that, yes, in via media, okay, see, what is your problem? Suppose somebody says, sir, no, there are 100 family are getting affected. They should be given a what is called a appropriate kind of, which is a appropriate. I'm not saying very high, a appropriate rehabilitation package. If that is agreed, then he say, yes, but they are getting affected, so they should be taken care, their livelihood should not be affected. If that kind of thing, then only it come to consensus. But what happens somehow, again, that, I mean, debate little bit in, see, in the democracy, there are always people out there. There are hardliner also, there are a medium, I mean, approach also. There are almost leftist, rightist, and a kind of neutral thing. So you cannot, that is the democracy, we can't help in that.
Yes.
But anyway, but we should say that in any kind of that thing, people should be allowed to participate. They should allowed to air their view. They should allowed, and their genuine concern, I'm saying genuine concern. There may be fake or false also. Their genuine concern always should be taken care, so that any project, it will not be 100%. See, every time, certainly, we can't have a kind of a typical situation. We say that by I have done this project, everybody is happy. You can make it impossible. So, but to the extent maximum possible, so then only it will be little bit okay. Say we are at least near to that. So we should try to that approach. For that, it is for the, I mean, whatsoever the problem, for when we are allowing that platform of participation, it is for those, I mean, organizer to think that how their platform is allowing active participation, not only participation, their views, they are being considered, and to the extent their problem also being redressed. So then we can say, yes, this public participation is to some extent it is effective. That's right.
That's
So
right.
we should
And
try
that's
to
how,
that.
yeah. And that's how we could reach to that empowerment stage of the stages of participation, which you have
then only,
so
yes.
wonderfully mentioned. Yes, thank you, sir. So, sir, you also spoke about the need for sufficiency and continuity of human beings and money, which is very important. And so it comes to the point that basic reason why people's participation has not been successful to the extent that was thought for is because of the stated lack of funds. Because role of community has been recognized in almost all of the programs you have seen. You have also mentioned Panchayati Raj institutions, PESA and FRA, and all those programs you have mentioned. But everything is very good on paper. Fund allocation is not there. I mean, we need to really come to terms with it. And mostly because of the lack of funds, the implementation of the local level schemes, say for example, environmental conservation at the most grassroots level, it falls upon the shoulders of the communities, of the people, and it is all on a voluntary basis because of lack of funds. And then here there is kind of a face saving wherein external agencies come in, and then they have their own celebrities, and then there is the whole lot of hard-hitting facts that you mentioned towards the end, wherein the celebrities are it is emphasized the celebrities become common people, but the whole effort is not that we can make the common people celebrities, right? So it all boils down to the fact that we are very good on paper, as in making schemes, programs, and all those things, but the substantial resources that are needed for the success of these programs have been less, if I may say. What are your views on that?
See, why I am saying, see, I just gave you a simple example of protecting a forest. I just giving a forest example because that is we have just experienced all. It is very easy to explain also. Why I am saying, see, participation, eliciting participation from people, it is not a easy job. It is really a full-time job. See, this is not a thing that you are, see, I will just give you example of Robert Chambers. Actually, you also might have heard, who is the, great, authority on that public participation, and especially he is known for that PRA, what is called participatory rural appraisal, which has at some long 70s, he has, propounded that theory that when we saw that the developmental the fruits of development are not getting, not really reaching to people. It is only up to schemes are going only on paper. They are not being implemented. At that time, it was in the rural development parlance. Actually, it came later on. We adopted that concept later on in our joint investment concept while doing that. Identifying needs and all these things and bringing out a common kind of plan with common consensus kind of thing. So what happened? This is the important. See, making a community aware also, this is a full-time job. This is not the one-day job. Because we have inherent problem of illiteracy. We have inherent problem of poverty. They have other work also. Suppose we want to make people aware, first thing, their capacity should be there. So that is not there. So they don't, basic literacy is also not there. So that is one stumbling block. They have not time there for that activity. They have to go for their livelihood. They have to go to field. They have to go to jungle. They have to go some other work for daily livelihood, this thing. So that is second aspect. So it is a full time. That's why there is a need of some third party kind of thing like NGO or a community volunteer, community helper. So which can work either and forest department also, or the any government agency for that matter, whether RD department or forest, they also, this is not the only work for them. See, the lower staff who is there, a forest guard or even the Gram Sevak, he don't have this only work. He has additional work also. So that's why it is a time consuming. That's why in the all project, wherever they are, they have a provision for the community parts, helper or community volunteer or NGO facilitator. So what they used to do, they used to do that work only. They used to work as a connecting link between people and the department or agency, who's over implementing agency. And mind you, it is a very, very long exercise. Initially, we gave a 6-month time of that thing. We say at that time, we'll go to villager, we will sit them and have a meeting on that day. And that's why the concept of PRA came. PRA is a simple exercise, then using local material, then we say, what are your resources? Then participatory mapping, then we say planning we have to do. So this itself is a big, full-time task, and it also require continuity of it, require man and material, that's why man and money. Unless people are there, it will be not just, it is on paper. Then you will say, yes, हाँ भाई सबका साइन ले लिए, ग्राम सभा का साइन फर्जी, people are not taken, they are not aware, they are not attended, they are not aware what is being done for their forest or their resource whatsoever, either it is forest or other thing also. So whether what they are going to get, they are not aware. So if they are really made functional, it really takes some time, it really takes some resources, it really need their enhancement of capacity building of both sides. So that's why, and it again comes to priority. Anything, if any ex-government side or any this thing, he has priority, he has to allocate that thing with that. See, without that thing just on pay, it will not run actually. I can't comment more that if you don't have priority, it will not come into that simple thing. If you have priority, you have to give whatsoever required to make that successful. So these are some of the basic things which are required. And again thing, there are many other things which I have not discussed because especially there are conflict actually. We have some question actually from one of, I think, my senior, this thing, where
yes,
there
I
is
will be reading it out to you.
Yeah,
can I
think Mr. Raghbir, my great senior actually. So Forest Right Act and JFM and Community Right, and because that is a very, very conflict kind of thing, because what happened, see, the joint forest management system, it is actually a kind of just a temporary arrangement. Legally, actually, it is not a valid system. It is just a group of people for some time for managing some temporary this thing we have made. It has not constitutional authority. While the Gram Sabha is a constitutional authority, it has all power. But what happened? See, FRA, the again problem is there. This Forest Right Act, that rules and regulations, they are actually issued by the Ministry of Tribal Welfare. And while the JFM, it is not a resolution kind of thing. This is also not an act and kind of thing. So this is a kind of resolution, a temporary system. So what happened? Then there again say that some of them, whether the head of that JFM, which is called BSS president, is more powerful, or whether the sarpanches, constitutionally sarpanch is more powerful. In fact, that should be part of that. So what happened? There were some actually, which I am not going to discuss. There's a conflict of interest or conflict of, regulation, even the issued between the two departments in the Ministry of Tribal Welfare and the Ministry of Environment Forest. For something they will not agree, for something they will not agree. So in that case, what is happening? It is also sometimes hampering. So there is a confusion in all these things for that. So this, I'm not again just what are needs to be done. The nodal agency. See, this is at the very, very high policy level. So there are certain. I have some my own whatsoever my thinking that may or may not be, but whatsoever the policy intervention should be there, they should be little bit balanced on. We should not create confusion like this, because what happened, one of the main reason is that, especially whenever the issue of your FRH and Forest Right Act comes in the joint enforcement. See, now the joint enforcement area is not, they are not very active now, in fact, because of IOSO, there's no such sources. So after that World Bank phase was over, so they were slowly, they are not getting that prominence and all these things. They also started, losing interest in all these things. But even then, as far as the rights and all these things to something, they are actually, as far as the act, they have the whole power, and they are in the field. The Joint Enforcement Committee, they are saying, no, we will only get that issue from that. While in that, say, the Gram Sabha is the whole manager, it should be under Gram Sabha, or Sarpanch is the main power. So it is a question of, power game actually. Who is more powerful? So that is also a conflict actually, which we need to, it requires redressal at a very high level, and unless we both, our Ministry of Tribal Welfare, Ministry of Environment, Forest, they sit together, but that is the somehow, anyway, that is not happening somehow.
Right, right. So this is really interesting, and interesting to note that there are so many contestations between in the bureaucracy, in the departments, ministries, between the ministries. So what has your experience been, just to close, as to how are people dealing with this kind of uh, tussle? Because ultimately the implications are going to be upon them, right? So is there a way forward? I mean, we have been talking about creating a balance, and but unless and until this is really ingrained in the minds and mindsets of the bureaucrats or officials, or even the departments, or even at the gram sabha level, how are we going to really move forward?
See, there are
This.
two things actually. See, one thing is there, if you talk specifically, this is in the forest context, that's the one thing. One is a general context. I mean, general context means taking everything on that thing, which I mean encompasses all, irrespective of sector. Actually, we say as a people, as a public. See, again, it is coming in my personal view. It is my personal view. It is a question of, again, thing is that since we somehow it is not getting that priority. So what happened in that case? There are reason for that, and one of the major reason, if you come to the forest actually source, why I say that. See, I will give a very simple example. See, for example, the pressure of cattle on forest, pressure for land on forest, encroachment, which will say, and cattle pressure, because you have huge, being our cattle population, these two are the now one of the major factor for causing degradation of forest. So how to solve that the problem? And for that, such a complex problem of, I mean, land, actually land, every day it is getting scarier. So when the land is getting every day dearer and all these things, the land is limited, but not the people. Land is limited, demands are going like anything, anthropogenic, whether it is a for, I mean, agriculture or food or everything for development. We want land. Land is limited. So finally, slowly, people are also, I mean, encroaching that land. So all pressure is falling on that. So if you really want to reduce that pressure, you have to give some alternate for those people, for their those demand for which they are falling on forest. Suppose I say you are going for the, I mean, cattle and all these things. Why he is taking cattle? Because he is having rearing cattle, for that he will get. So either you give some alternate to him so that he will not allow his cattle to go there, or you will give some other kind of all other, I mean, or for forest land, same thing. Either you give some other alternate so that he should not use that land. So, and this require a huge financial this thing. And that is the main problem. Again, sometime what is happening, that this is also not getting little bit more important, because there are certain sociological, certain economic reason also coming that for purpose, and sometimes political reason also are coming, because that, see, once you start doing that thing, suppose if I start really implementing the Forest Act provision and all these things, even the forest art, they say they strictly they go for that thing. Then everybody who is cutting any forest, they start, I mean, just suppose now in the city you are imposing a lot of fine, people are aware, people will not do. In the villager, there's a question of that need kind of thing. See, they require forest from, I mean, is a demand, genuine demand for that, for whether it's hut making or some small implement, whether from all these things, this is genuine demand, which actually we should not actually. But sometime what happened, this is now going beyond that. They started, now suppose they start encroaching land. So what to do then? The land encroachment become the problem. Now for that part of thing, you want to take people into confidence. So as I say, people will come into confidence unless you meet their demand. If you meet their demand, certainly you can wean away from that thing. Again, the question of same ghum fir ke, again, it question comes to that priority and that policy intervention. If they are done, certainly we can meet, and we can certainly elicit their participation. We can certainly, I mean, reduce that degradation. We can certainly allow conservation to work more for that thing. But somehow that is the priority which I don't know, at present circumstances, there little bit, there is something missing actually, I think. More. Priority means money, simple thing. Very thing,
So,
it is
but
prioritized,
yes,
it is money. Na? Money
yeah,
means
money.
everything. Na? So they can take care of the, which are the, I mean, then which are the priority area. Priority may also again first priority, second priority, third priority, fourth priority. So it depends on the priority. If it is really first priority, it will be done. So for actually there's the problem in that. See, our whole problem is what is happening in the, again, I'm coming same thing. It is a question of whenever the livelihood and the question of dilemma, the livelihood dilemma actually. So what to do? We don't have the solution. We talk of that thing. It is very easy to talk, but really, if you really see the villagers, it is very difficult to say. It's very easy to say that, yes, you do that thing. Why don't do that thing? But real, and there are so many things, so many systems kind of aberration. It is not that easy actually really to do. So that is the last resort. It is not that they don't have anything. There's no resources. I mean, land, suppose somebody are having 1,000 acre, one is not having 1 acre. So who is going to take that thing? I will say first, that is, let us resolve that thing. Are you going to resolve that thing? Can you? Can we do? Suppose I am having 100 acre, the government tomorrow let the pass that one judgment, that rule, that no, you will have only 2 acre, rest okay, you distribute that thing. You cannot, no? So that are inherent issues are there. These are social issue or political issue, or as a, I mean, as per this thing, constitution, nobody can stop me by purchasing land also. It is my constitutional right. Since I have money, I will purchase. So there are so many issues are there because it's a very complex kind of thing. See, this is the, that's why the environmental conservation may, I mean, making people participate is a very, I mean, complex kind of thing. There are so many issues are there. We have some solution, but again, it requires again so many things. We have some solution, it requires some money. We have some solution, it requires priority allocation. We have some solution, it requires really the stakeholder involvement. But what we think, we all are in city. I mean, they're thinking, we want to say, yes, it should be done. But actually, when the people, the facing in, who really the facing brunt of that thing, women, I mean, the downtrodden people. So for them, it is a question of livelihood. So unless that part is important for her, to especially for forest sector, unless we take care of livelihood part, unless we take care of that genuine demand, it will be difficult to get their participation. For that, we have to make policies and prioritize our action.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, this is quite complex, and it is perhaps the views that you have expressed, and we all recognize it. And I hope that this can be taken into consideration, because ultimately, as you mentioned, the burden falls upon the less fortunate people and the weaker sections of the society. So definitely, and I think the way forward is also about raising the budgetary allocations, not like reducing the yearly budgetary allocation for the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change, as has been done this time. Maybe we can see something, a better allocation, so that we can have better understanding of the challenges. And so many stakeholders are required, and if it can be channelized in proper ways, engaging more and more people, as you have mentioned in the stages. And I really like that slide where you have mentioned how are you involving to empowering people, that the entire stage is very important. And I hope that we can this can be seen in the policy making sometime very soon. So thank you so much, sir. And if you want to have the last few words, if you want, the parting words before I can come.
It was really, I mean, good session actually, when we can interact, because subject is really so complex. In fact, so there are so many, I mean, dimension of that every time. There are so many dimension, policy level dimension, I mean, field level dimension. We have departmental help, they have their own, I mean, complexities actually, as in the government system. But even then, actually, only thing is that yes, really, if we have some commitment, or we think really, and apart from that, as I say, specific, if you leave the forest part apart, in general also, the, I mean, participation may, it is actually our attitudinal change, I think, which we can do as an individual. In fact, see, that also participation. It is not necessary that for this actually we require, I mean, some government to do something. There are so many things actually which we can do, which can be done by the individual. Only thing is that for them, this is a different thing, why the environment is not getting priority. But this also comes to people participation. This time also, if you really participate in, because there are so many ongoing program of the government, which really, I mean, which require the people participation. And in that case, it is not that you should be only as a actively you should participate. you should indirectly also participate in that, doing their own bit actually. Again, environmental conservation, this is also part of that, a side of that. If I do my own bit, so this is a indirectly help to the environment. It is, I mean, using less resources, using, not, allowing more energy needs, or saving energy, saving water, using resources judiciously, or disposing waste also very properly in a scientific way without harming all these things. So this also a kind of participation which in a broad way help to the environment. So I think we should at least do something in that personal this thing. So rightly, but as you have said that again, it is we have to do something of that, because there are certain prioritized action or prioritized policies are required. I think government is also taking care of that thing. There are also government at various level. And yes, I would like to just focus upon that now, with a specific case of Telangana. Yes, now since we are really, otherwise I would have forgot that thing. See, the government has later on in the Telangana, somehow they have done a lot of, policy intervention, which unlike other state actually, was they have done, they have given that, panchayat level and municipal, they are the, this level, they have given, mandatory allocation kind of thing. They have act and rules, they have make some policy intervention. They say it is very important and it is mandatory for panchayat and or municipal to use their 10% of their budget for the environment. So this is a historical decision the Telangana government has taken. So this kind of intervention is required. That's why I say na Telangana ku Harita Haram. This is called the Green Garland Telangana. So what they say that at that time, in the coming 5-6 years, we should reach our at least 30% from 24, existing whatever, forest percentage, green cover. So as per policy, it is required 1/3 of our area should be green. So to reach that policy level, what are expected in the, green cover. So that's why a lot of, not only it is policy intervention was done. There were, of the Telangana government, they have done lot of, they have given required money for taking up the Harita Haram tree planting program, not only in inside forest, outside forest also at 230 crore actually. So this is part of that. I just brief I am giving. So out of that, 120 crore are being raised outside the forest, inside the private land, barren land, outside the reserve forest area, and 110 crore they are being in the inside reserve forest. So what is happening? So that priority, once the priority is there, then priority translate into action, and the action are there. So then the people are getting involved. Now, what the major thing that what the Telangana government done, all your panchayat and your municipal ward and all these things, they are now sensitized. And by a way of act and all these things, suppose if they don't make the plant to survive, that cost will be, cut there from salary for. So what is making that is now forcing them to, yes, they are thinking, yes, now the when the CM is so much particular about the plantation, of the tree cover, of the greenery, of the environment. So they are also taking a lot of interest in that thing. That result are also coming in that case, because there is a, I don't have immediately figure because I'm not having that this thing, but really there is an increase in the forest cover in the last 3-4 years also after that. So the visible result are also coming. Still that survey is going on. That hopefully maybe next year again we will get a full data, and really that, and especially all public representative, whether it's a local MLA, panchayat, sarpanch, ward member, they are now really motivated. And they talk about the environment, they talk about the tree, they talk about the water actually. So this kind of intervention has to be extended, and again it has to be more actually. Further actually it has to be added. Some value addition also has to be done. Then certainly we can take, these challenges, or we can beat these challenges for our posterity, and certainly this can give a very good result. So that was very important actually. But overall, and in that part, this is a very nice interaction actually. So hopefully, I thought that I have covered. Maybe there are maybe so many things I might have missed, so many things, because I'm not very sure, because so many dimensions are there. But even then, I tried to see that the basic concept or basic, what are the nitty-gritty of the, subject where they are covered to some extent, taking from international level to our local level. So whatsoever then. Anyway, a very good talk and very good interaction with you also. And I hope that we'll look forward for some more interaction on these lines.
Absolutely.
So that,
Yes,
yeah. Thank you.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
please.
Thank you. I was about to say that we have identified a few more pertinent discussion points wherein we could get your inputs, and definitely we will be organizing that along with you. And it is very important that all of us at the from the grassroots up, we need to be sensitized about the environment. And what better than listening or hearing out from a serving officer of the Indian Forest Services. So thank you very much, sir. And I would now like to formally conclude with the formal vote of thanks on behalf of Center for Environment, Climate Change and Sustainable Development at IMPRI, Impact and Policy Research Institute, and India Water Portal, our media partner. We had this very important discussion under the State of the Environment series #Planet Talks on people's participation in environmental conservation. And we really deeply thank Mr. Mohan Chandra Pargain, Senior Indian Forest Service Officer from Hyderabad, Telangana cadre, and who is also the member of IUCN CEM Forest and Urban Ecosystem Specialist Group, for having spared his time from his schedule and talked about the entire people's participation in environmental conservation that really provides light into the next steps on how we can more strengthen and solidify people's movements around environment. So thank you so much. And it was a pleasure listening to you, sir. I wish you good health and please stay safe. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.